Hi, welcome to Christadelphianvideo.org. Thoughts on the Bible readings: 1 Kings 8, Jeremiah 34, Mark 8, for August 13th. 1 Kings 8 tells us of the bringing up of the ark to Jerusalem with appropriate pomp and ceremony. Next came Solomon's extolling Yahweh and outlining the process that saw the ark coming to its typical resting place in the magnificent house, which had been built. 1 Chronicles 16 verses 8 to 36 records David's psalm of thanksgiving penned at the time. David describes the spiritual significance of the occasion and how it types Christ's kingdom. Carefully and slowly read Psalm 132 and meditate its meaning. Verses 22 to 53 recorded Solomon's prayer of dedication. Note the emphasis on the inadequacy of any house to befit the Almighty. And the repeated refrain, "Then here in heaven, your dwelling place." The inadequacy of a physical house is emphasized. However, as a sign of respect for the omnipotent Creator of the universe, it was fitting for the temple to be a magnificent building. We should particularly see the need for each of us to recognize the plague of our own heart, i.e., the sickness that in each of us leads us into sin, and some of us have strong weaknesses in a particular way. We need to know our weaknesses, and those parts of our problem for which we must pray, and where we need help to overcome these individual weaknesses. The chapter concludes with a blessing and the offering of accompanying sacrifices. Jeremiah chapter 34 contains an appeal to Zedekiah based upon the inevitable fate that the king and his city faced. Zedekiah was told that he must make a truce with Nebuchadnezzar and deal faithfully with the slaves according to the law of Moses. If they comply with Yahweh's commands, then disaster may be averted. But Zedekiah and his princes failed to comply, and so would suffer the consequences. Brother C.C. Walker writes, Zedekiah and his contemporaries despised the covenants of God and man, and because of this God gave them into the hands of the Babylonians and made the cities of Judah a desolation without inhabitant. Mark's 8th chapter commences with the feeding of 4,000. The record contains some contrasts with that of the 5,001. The 5,000 were Jewish, the 4,000 were not. 2. The apostles had immediate compassion for the 5,000, but no compassion for the others despite watching the multitude enduring for 3 days without any food. 3. The numbers involved differed and taught different messages out of the feedings. This is followed by the rulers asking, but not receiving another sign. A discussion about leaven took place between our Lord and his enemies. The disciples assumed that Jesus was rebuking them for forgetting to take food. How illogical this was, for he had shown the power to make food. It was about the corrupt influence of wrongful teaching. The chapter continues with the healing of a blind man. This man was cured by stages at Bethsaida, illustrating the problem of perception. We so often, like that man, see people out of proportion. Jesus next questions his apostles on people's perception of himself. Then our Lord asked them who they thought him to be. Several answers were given until Peter responded by declaring that Jesus was the Christ, the Son of the living God. All of the apostles are charged to not reveal this until after our Lord Jesus Christ has been raised from the dead. Once again, our Master speaks of his despicable treatment, crucifixion, and resurrection the third day. The chapter finishes with a command for each of us to take up our stake daily to follow our Lord Jesus. More here. https://christadelphianvideo.org/christadelphian-daily-readings